The world hides creatures so gigantic, they almost defy belief. Picture this: you're walking through a quiet forest or by the edge of a lake, and suddenly, a turtle the size of a car lumbers past you like something out of a forgotten age. Sounds unreal? It's not. From wolves that could wrestle bears to sharks that dwarf fishing boats, these record-breaking animals are not legends. They're real, and they've been caught on camera. Some of them walk among us today, living proof that nature hasn't stopped pushing its limits. Others seem to have slipped through time, remnants of an era we thought was long gone. And just when you think you've seen it all, nature throws you something new. A snake longer than a bus, a bird with a wingspan that could shade your whole car. Can you even imagine that? These aren't fairy tales or exaggerated stories. Every one of these creatures shattered expectations and left scientists stunned. What would you do if you stumbled across one in the wild? Would you run? Or just stare in awe? Because these 15 freakishly massive animals will leave you completely speechless. So buckle up and prepare yourself. You're about to step into a side of nature that most people never knew existed. What makes this next encounter so unbelievable? But first, let's talk about the absolute legend known as Lolong. This saltwater crocodile, captured in the Philippines in 2011, defied every record and expectation. Measuring a staggering 23 feet in length and weighing over 2,300 pounds, Lolong wasn't just big, he was a prehistoric titan made real. When villagers first laid eyes on him, they thought he was just a log drifting lazily in the river, until that log moved. It took more than 100 men working together to finally haul the beast out of the water. And when the official measurements came in, experts were speechless. Rumors of crocodiles this massive had circulated for years, whispered stories passed between fishermen. But no one had ever seen one up close, until Lolong. And here's the part that keeps people up at night. Some locals insist they've spotted even larger crocodiles lurking in hidden waterways, far from human reach. Which means Lolong may not be the biggest after all. But if you think that's the peak of river monsters, wait until you meet a stingray so massive, it looked like a living UFO gliding through the water. Because rivers, believe it or not, are hiding giants too. Face to face with one so massive, it looked more like a myth than a living animal. But first, let's rewind to that unbelievable moment in Cambodia, where fishermen made history by catching the largest freshwater stingray ever recorded. This gentle giant weighed nearly 660 pounds and stretched over 13 feet from nose to tail, about the length of a small car. At first, the fishermen thought they'd hooked a submerged tree trunk. But when the log started to move, they knew they were dealing with something far more extraordinary. It took several people just to bring the creature to shore, and even then, it looked almost unreal. What's even more incredible? Scientists believe this species can grow even larger. Some estimates suggest there may be stingrays over 15 feet long gliding silently through the muddy depths of Southeast Asia's remote rivers, still completely undetected by humans. And if that doesn't give you chills, brace yourself. Because next is a snake so impossibly long, even experienced researchers couldn't believe their eyes. Snakes already haunt the dreams of many, but what if one was as long as a telephone pole? Whole new level. But before we dive into the deep, let's revisit the jaw-dropping discovery in Malaysia. At a construction site, workers unearthed something they'd never forget: a reticulated python measuring an astonishing 32 feet long. That's longer than a school bus and heavier than most grown men could lift. It took a team of people just to move the snake, which now holds the title of the longest python ever recorded. While reticulated pythons are already famous for their size, this one broke all the rules. And here's the wild part: these snakes never stop growing. As long as they live, they continue to get bigger. Which means, had this one not been discovered, it might have reached even more unbelievable lengths. Some experts think that even larger pythons could be slithering through the uncharted rainforests of Southeast Asia, far from human eyes. But if a 32-foot snake gives you nightmares, brace yourself. Because up next is a great white shark so colossal, it made fishing boats look like bath toys. Sharks have always been feared, but this one didn't just inspire fear, it redefined it. Lions are often hailed as the kings of the jungle, But one legendary lion proved that title in a way the world had never seen. Back in the 1930s, deep in the wilds of South Africa, hunters came face to face with a creature so massive, they thought it was a myth. But this was no legend. When they finally weighed the beast, the scale tipped at a staggering 690 pounds, making it the heaviest lion ever officially recorded. For perspective, most male lions weigh between 300 and 400 pounds. This one was nearly double that. And it wasn't just the weight that made jaws drop. This lion sported a huge, dark mane that gave it an almost mythical presence, like something out of ancient folklore. Researchers believe it grew to such size thanks to easy access to prey and territory with little competition. Some even theorize that if it had continued living undisturbed in the wild, it might have grown even larger. But if you thought a 690-pound superlion was mind-blowing, just wait, because the ocean is about to reveal something even stranger. A gigantic squid emerged in a place no one expected, reminding us that some mysteries in the deep sea are downright terrifying. That's exactly what stunned researchers when they stumbled upon a monstrous leatherback sea turtle washed ashore. But this wasn't your average gentle giant, it was a true colossus. Weighing in at over 2,000 pounds and stretching nearly 10 feet from head to tail, this creature looked like it had crawled out of a forgotten prehistoric world. Now, leatherbacks already hold the crown as the largest turtles on the planet, usually topping out at around 6 or 7 feet. But this one? It broke every known record and then some. Its massive shell bore deep scars, silent stories of battles with deep-sea predators or near-death encounters with fishing gear, hinting at a lifetime of survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. And here's the wildest part. Leatherbacks have existed for over 100 million years, swimming through oceans when dinosaurs ruled the land. They've survived every mass extinction since. So naturally, it makes you wonder, if one this size washed up, are even bigger ones still gliding silently through the ocean's darkest, unexplored depths? And just when you think things can't get more surreal, imagine coming face to face with a wolf so massive, it made seasoned scientists question everything they thought they knew about apex predators. Now imagine staring down a wolf the size of a full-grown grizzly bear. That's exactly what happened deep in the wild heart of Alaska, where a hunter captured jaw-dropping footage of a gray wolf that shattered all expectations. This beast measured over 7 feet from nose to tail and was estimated to weigh well over 200 pounds, nearly double the size of your average gray wolf, which typically tops out around 120. When biologists reviewed the footage, their reaction was pure disbelief. This wasn't just a big wolf, it was one of the largest ever documented in modern times. Some even speculated it might be a throwback to the extinct dire wolf, an Ice Age predator that once roamed North America and dwarfed its modern cousins. While that theory didn't hold up under scrutiny, the discovery confirmed one thing beyond a doubt: gigantic, alpha-tier wolves still roam the deepest, wildest corners of the earth. But just when you think nature's done flexing, it ups the ante again. Because if a 7-foot wolf sounds unreal, wait until you hear about an eagle with a wingspan wider than a grown man is tall. Captured soaring above the skies of Argentina, this creature left witnesses frozen in awe. American short-faced bear, an ancient predator that made today's grizzlies look like cubs. But first, let's rewind to 2015 off Mexico's Guadalupe Island, where researchers captured footage of a great white shark so massive, it instantly went viral. Nicknamed Deep Blue, this enormous predator measured over 20 feet long and weighed an estimated 5,000 pounds. For comparison, most great whites max out around 15 feet, making Deep Blue a true ocean leviathan. But what sent chills down everyone's spine was the possibility that she might not be alone. Marine biologists believe there could be even bigger sharks out there, swimming silently in the deep, possibly distant descendants of the ancient megalodon, a creature believed to have reached lengths over 60 feet. If Deep Blue is real and thriving, what else might be lurking far below the surface? Now, if sharks that size still exist, just imagine the giants that once roamed the land. Which brings us to the largest bear to ever walk the earth, the South American short-faced bear. Modern bears are already powerhouses, but this ancient beast dwarfed them all. But it quickly turned into a once-in-a-lifetime encounter that left even seasoned anglers in complete disbelief. This wasn't just any eagle, it was a harpy eagle, one of the most powerful and fearsome raptors on the planet. But what set this one apart was its almost mythical size. With a wingspan stretching close to 8 feet, this harpy eagle ranked among the largest ever recorded. When footage of it perched on a tree branch surfaced, many viewers thought it was a person in a costume. That's how massive and human-like it appeared. Its talons? The size of grizzly bear claws. So powerful they could rip full-grown monkeys right out of trees without breaking a sweat. Harpy eagles are already rare, but this particular giant defied expectations. Experts suggest its size may have come from a perfect storm of plentiful prey and minimal competition, allowing it to dominate its territory unchecked. It's a powerful reminder that nature still hides giants in plain sight. But hold that thought, because if you think an eagle the size of a grown man is shocking, wait until you hear about the catfish so massive, fishermen thought they'd hooked a prehistoric monster. What started as a quiet day on the Mong River turned into an encounter straight out of a fisherman's wildest dream, or worst nightmare. Reach the sheer size and fame of this next reptilian giant. But first, let's go back to that unbelievable Alaskan bull moose. When footage surfaced showing it standing taller than an SUV, the internet exploded with disbelief. This towering creature stood nearly 10 feet tall at the shoulders, and that's before you even count its antlers, which stretched an incredible 6 feet wide like a massive crown of bone. Many viewers were convinced it had to be CGI or a prank, but biologists quickly stepped in to confirm. This was 100% real. To put it into perspective, this moose could stare a full-grown grizzly bear straight in the eye without tilting its head. Its colossal frame and prehistoric-looking antlers made it look like it had stepped straight out of the Ice Age. And if moose can reach these towering sizes, it begs the question, how big can the world's most feared predators become? Which brings us to one of the most jaw-dropping encounters ever recorded, the largest crocodile ever captured. Crocodiles are already apex predators, but none have ever matched the monstrous proportions of this beast. Absolute monster that redefined what we thought was possible. But first, picture this. You're diving deep beneath the waves when suddenly, giant spindly legs begin creeping through the murky water. That's exactly what happened to a group of deep-sea divers who came face-to-face with the largest Japanese spider crab ever recorded. With a leg span stretching over 12 feet, yes, wider than a king-sized bed, this creature looked like it crawled straight out of a nightmare. Its alien-like limbs moved slowly across the ocean floor, giving off serious horror movie vibes. But despite its terrifying appearance, this crab isn't aggressive at all. It simply scavenges for food in the silence of the deep sea. What's even more jaw-dropping is its lifespan. These crabs can live for over 100 years. That means the largest ones roaming the seabed today could have been alive when the Titanic was still afloat. Now, if creatures like this can reach record-breaking size in the ocean, what happens when something just as ancient grows way beyond expectations on land? Florida is no stranger to alligators, but in 2015, a group of hunters stumbled upon a gator so massive, it made headlines across the globe. The South American short-faced bear was, without question, the largest bear species to ever walk the earth. This prehistoric titan stood a staggering 12 feet tall when rising on its hind legs, towering over anything we know today, and weighed in at over 2,500 pounds, making it even bigger than the largest polar bears on record. But it wasn't just its size that made it fearsome. Fossils reveal it had unusually long limbs, built for speed as well as power. Unlike today's lumbering bears, this one could actually run down its prey, making it one of the most terrifying land predators of its time. Some paleontologists believe it was capable of taking down fully grown bison without breaking a sweat. Though long extinct, the legacy of this giant raises an eerie question. Could something even larger still be out there? Hidden deep in the unexplored forests of North America, beyond the reach of human paths, some researchers believe massive, undiscovered bears may still roam. And if a creature bigger than this prehistoric beast is still alive, what else might be hiding in Earth's last wild places? Absolute monster. And once they finally brought it down and measured it, the numbers didn't just shock people, they made headlines. This beast was over 15 feet long and weighed more than 1,000 pounds. For context, most alligators top out around 11 or 12 feet, making this one a living dinosaur in comparison. But it wasn't just its size that sent chills down spines. Its jaw, lined with rows of razor-sharp teeth, was strong enough to crush bone in a single bite. Biologists studying the remains estimated this gator could take down full-grown deer with terrifying ease. And here's the part that really sticks with you. Some experts believe this monster might not be alone. Deep in the untouched swamps of Florida, far from roads and people, even larger alligators could still be lurking in silence, hiding in plain sight. If something this big went unnoticed for so long, what else is out there? And just when you think it can't get wilder, along comes a moose so massive, it made pickup trucks look like toys. Moose are already giants among North American wildlife, but this one was on another level entirely. River. But what these fishermen dragged from the depths was anything but ordinary. After an exhausting 2-hour struggle, they finally pulled in a catfish so massive, it looked like something out of a deep-sea myth. This beast weighed over 600 pounds and stretched more than 9 feet long, setting a jaw-dropping new record for the largest freshwater fish ever caught. It was a Mekong giant catfish, a species already infamous for its size, but this one? It was beyond anything anyone expected. Its mouth was so wide, it could easily swallow a basketball hole. The fishermen, hardened by years on the river, were left speechless. And when biologists examined it, they were just as stunned. This ancient-looking creature was likely decades old, having survived predators, fishing nets, and environmental change with unbelievable resilience. But moments like this are vanishing fast. Due to habitat loss and relentless overfishing, catfish of this size are becoming dangerously rare, perhaps even legendary. And just when you think you've seen the peak of nature's power, along comes a lion so enormous, it didn't just break records, it shattered everything we thought we knew about the king of beasts. Enter the colossal squid, a creature long dismissed as sailors' folklore, until undeniable proof washed ashore. For decades, scientists argued whether these deep-sea beasts truly existed or were just exaggerated legends. That debate ended when a colossal squid was discovered on a beach in New Zealand, and its size was beyond anyone's imagination. This oceanic monster stretched over 40 feet long and weighed nearly 1,000 pounds. That's longer than a school bus and heavier than a grand piano. Its tentacles weren't just long, they were armed with rotating hooks, designed to tear through prey in total darkness. And its eyes? The size of dinner plates, engineered for hunting in the pitch-black depths of the ocean. But here's the part that truly sends chills down your spine. Marine experts believe even larger squids are still lurking in the uncharted trenches of the deep sea, places no submersible or camera has yet explored. If one of this size reached the surface, who's to say there isn't one out there twice as big, just waiting to be discovered? And if you thought that was massive, wait until you meet the towering horse that made regular stallions look like ponies. Most people have seen big horses, but none quite like Big Jake. This Belgian draft horse wasn't just tall, he was historic. Standing a jaw-dropping 6 feet 10 inches at the shoulder and weighing over 2,500 pounds, Big Jake was quite literally the size of a Clydesdale on steroids. His incredible stature earned him global fame, but it was his calm, gentle nature that truly captured hearts. His owners had to build custom steps just to mount him, and standard fences? Useless. They had to be reinforced because no ordinary enclosure could contain a horse of his size. Standing next to him, full-grown adults looked like children. It was surreal. What's even more astonishing is that Big Jake wasn't overweight. His size wasn't the result of overfeeding, it was pure genetics. Proof that some animals are simply born to break the mold. But just when you think nothing could top a nearly 7-foot-tall horse, nature throws another curveball. Because coming up next is a crab so massive, it could literally reach out and grab your leg. Imagine strolling along the ocean floor, and then you see it. If these real-life giants prove anything, it's that nature still has secrets hiding in plain sight. Some towering, some terrifying, and all unforgettable. But here's the real question. What else is out there? Could an even bigger crocodile be lurking in the shadows? A longer snake slithering through the untouched jungle? Or maybe an undiscovered beast so massive it makes today's record holders look small? The world is vast, mysterious, and far from fully explored. And if these creatures are any sign, we may not have seen the biggest of them yet. So if you're as fascinated by the unbelievable as we are, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next wild discovery.